Welcome. I am Eric Unfiltered. Here I discuss news, politics, and whatever else I find interesting, along with my very colorful, unfiltered commentary. If you would like to follow me on social media, I am on X at Eric Not Sorry, and on Truth or Facebook at Eric Unfiltered Podcast. I hope you enjoy. Now let's get on with the show. How is everybody out there doing today? As for myself, per usual, I am caffeinated, medicated, and never regulated, so let's freaking go! Oh boy, am I going to be pissing some motherfuckers off today! I know it's been a minute, and I appreciate everybody's patience out there. Life has been a little crazy, and time is not something I have much anymore, but today is going to be a long episode because I'm going to be kind of doing a hodgepodge of topics. I'm going to try to keep them separated. I'm going to try, but sometimes squirrel, hi there, happens to me. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with transitioning of minors, which was a case brought forth to the Supreme Court via a rule or law change in the state of Tennessee. And the Supreme Court has sided with the state of Tennessee. Thankfully, normalcy prevailed because there is no such thing as a trans kid. And if that bothers you, you are fucking retarded. There's no such thing as a trans kid. There are children out there, however, that may be confused about their sexuality, which, okay. Fair enough. With all the shit they see on TikTok and YouTube, but mainly TikTok, it's no surprise why kids would be a little confused about their sexuality. But there is no such thing as a trans kid. There isn't. Like I said, they may be a little confused, but the primary reason why people think kids are trans is because it's called Munchausen by proxy. Look it up. These are adults that are trying to get clout and clicks by virtue signaling bullshit and dangerous ideology on the internet. Most children, most that are confused about their sexuality tend to grow out of it. 65 to 95% of children that have a little confusion about what they might or might not be into, they tend to grow out of that as puberty progresses. But there are sick, twisted fucks out there, not just adults like with the kids doing their weird shit, but there are politicians out there, folks, and educators, principals and teachers the like, that think, oh well, 5-year-old Billy, he likes boys. We need to cut his dick off. This is real. This is not like one-off. No, this is a fucking epidemic in our country. It really is. It's fucking twisted. There is no such thing as a trans kid, but there are adults out there. There are doctors. There are politicians, there are teachers that think you have to start toddlers on puberty blockers. I'm not joking, folks. Look it up. Look it up for yourself. Toddlers. Yes, toddler. A 2-year-old. They're trying to trans 2-year-olds. Yes, those people, wood chipper, sorry, I got something in my throat. Those people should not be allowed around children, nor should they be allowed to have children. There is no such thing as a trans kid. But like I said, the state of Tennessee put forth a law that banned... Oh, let me look it up for a sec. Yes. So Tennessee's Senate Bill 1 was challenged at the United States Supreme Court, and by a decision of 6-3, because there's 3 retards on the Supreme Court, at least 3. But this bill prohibits medical treatments like puberty blockers, hormone therapy, or surgeries intended to facilitate a minor's gender transition. A minor. Anybody under the age of 18. As I've done in previous episodes, there are girls out there, young ladies, that are just starting their journey into womanhood. All you ladies out there, you know what I'm talking about. You've been down that road. I'm not saying it's an easy one, but you've been down that road. But these people, these young girls, are just starting that journey, and they're getting their boobies cut off. That's not a joke. It's not a one-off. It's not like 1 or 2 a year. No. Look it up. The numbers are just staggering, and like I said, I've covered it before. But thankfully, the Supreme Court has ruled that, that law can stay on the books in Tennessee. The court ruled that the law does not violate the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, as it does not discriminate based on sex or transgender status, but applies uniformly to all minors seeking such treatment for gender dysphoria. Yes, that is a wonderful, wonderful, big, glowing W for children of this country. Now, back in January of this year, President Donald Trump signed an executive order stating that the federal government would not fund, sponsor, promote, assist, or support gender transition procedures for individuals under the age of 19. However, this order does not outright ban such treatments, but withdraws federal support and encourages enforcement of existing restrictions. However, a federal judge in Washington State, Washington State, but Washington later blocked this executive order, allowing gender-affirming care. Yeah, well, thankfully there was another ruling that judge cunts like this won't be able to get in the fucking way anymore. And it's not just for President Trump, but any president moving forward won't have these twats just putting up roadblocks at every turn. Because where the hell have these judges been in the past? I mean, it doesn't matter if the president that was in the White House was someone I liked or did not like. Where were all of these crazy rogue judges over the years? I mean, a lot of the stuff that President Trump has said in speeches nowadays sounds an awful lot like Bill Clinton back in the 90s. I actually covered something of what Bill Clinton said in a speech regarding illegals. And people would lose their minds if Trump said it, but it was like, oh, it was okay for that guy. But anyways, thankfully there was another ruling by the Supreme Court that basically said, nah, these judges can't fucking keep just doing this shit. So thankfully another big W. But that's right, Trump's a king or something. Whatever. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Thankfully, children in Tennessee won't be mutilated or pumped full of some fucking bullshit hormone because they're confused. Just let it run the course. Most likely, they will either A, grow out of it, or B, they'll just discover they're gay. That's usually what happens. 99% of the time. Actually, over 99%. Because that's just what happens. Yes, there are genuine people with gender dysphoria. No shit. I'm not an idiot. Kind of. But yes, those people do exist. Pardon me. But it's an extremely small percentage of the population. But statistics nowadays are showing that it has skyrocketed because, again, of the bullshit on social media, the internet clout, and Munchausen by proxy. So, all right, I think that's I'm going to wrap that up on there. Let's see, what else has happened recently? We bombed Iran. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that generally. No, I don't like Iran. I don't have anything against people that that are Iranian, unless they're screaming, death to America or death to the Jews or death to Israel. Fuck those people. But in general, I don't have a problem with Iranian people. I don't. I've seen videos and pictures of what Iran looked like before, this group of murderous tyrants took over, and Iran looked like a pretty cool place to go visit. It did. It looked cool. Women were dressed like normal Westerner women, and so were the men, and everybody was just having a good time. And then shit went fucking really sideways back was it the 70s, I think? I don't know. I'm not a historian, but now, fuck Iran. At least their leadership. Now, I know there's people out there going, well, Iran just wants to have a nuclear weapon. United States has them and Russia has them. Why can't they? Okay. All right. Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and say that America is perfect, because America is not perfect. There has never, ever been a government throughout human history that was perfect. There have been good ones. There have been some really fucking bad ones. And yes, America has stuck their dick into a lot of shit it shouldn't have. In fact, I am watching a documentary in the last couple days about Vietnam on Netflix. It's very good, and it goes in deep into stuff. And we should not have fucking been there. God damn, what a fucking shit show. And how we got in there, I'm not going to go down that road, but what the fuck. But yes, America has stuck its nose into places, into situations we shouldn't have, and oftentimes we've fucked it up. Sometimes we help, like the first Gulf War, in the early 90s, when Iraq went into Kuwait, we went over there and pushed them out, and then we stopped. I remember people saying back then, we should kill Saddam Hussein, and I was like, fuck you, no. This guy came in and started wreaking havoc in our friend's house. We went over there and kicked them out of our friend's house, and that's it. We got him the fuck off, and that's where it ended, as far as I knew back then. I was a child then. Now, the second time we went into Iraq and the yellow cake and all, yeah, we all know that was horseshit. That was a forced regime change, which, yeah, America likes doing that. CIA does too. Sorry. But with Iran wanting a nuclear weapon, I am on team no, because you have countries, again, like Russia and America, that we're not going out there saying, we're going to drop nukes on blah, blah, and we're going to wipe so-and-so off the face of the planet. Now, I know in the beginning of Russia and Ukraine, I know Putin said basically that nukes are not off the table. I'm sure that's pretty much just a veiled threat. And I don't trust the guy, I'm just saying. But I don't really see it happening. I really hope it doesn't. But, again, we are not going out there saying, when Trump was talking about buying Greenland or annexing Greenland or whatever, he never came out and said, we're going to start dropping nukes. No. However, Iran does. Iran has already stated and has stated for decades now that they want to and will wipe Israel off the face of the planet. Well, that's a lot of innocent people there. Now, you can have your feelings about Israel. I'm not going down that road. I'm not. You can agree or disagree with how they do things. Fine, whatever. That's. I don't know enough about it, nor do I give a fuck. But there is a lot of innocent people that live in Israel and the surrounding areas. And Iran doesn't give a shit. They just want to make mushroom clouds all over Israel. They're tyrants. They're just bloodthirsty, murderous fucks. So fuck Iran. Fuck them, and fuck them hard, fuck them good, fuck them dead. So the fact that we dropped bombs on 3 facilities that supposedly, from what we are being told, were developing nuclear weapons or nuclear weapon capabilities or enriching uranium or whatever. But again, I'm kind of cringe. Like, oh, we sent in our own planes to blow. Okay. But again, if they were close to having a nuke, yeah, fuck Iran having a nuke. No, fuck that shit. And then you got the fucking little twat waffles over here screaming, crying that Trump didn't get the declaration through Congress. Sit down, clown, you fucking morons. Really? So when Bill Clinton went and sent shit and blew shit up, and Obama went and sent drone strikes and blew shit up, did they get caught? No, they didn't. So sit down. Put your pacifier back in your mouth, curl up with your little blankie, and take a nap. You fucking clowns. The president has the ability to do stuff like this. And I know that there is a procedure. I believe it's, 48 or 72 hours after doing a strike, the president has to contact Congress or something. Again, I'm fuzzy on the details. But there is a process. And the president does have the ability to do exactly what President Trump did. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, the United States president has that power. Too bad. And like I said, Iran wants to wipe Israel off the face of the planet. And in case you are unaware, many nuclear bombs, they create a lot of radiation. And there's a thing called wind currents. Yeah. So where is that radiation going to go? Just put that out there. On the note of Iran, I wanted to touch this because Whoopi Goldberg, bitch, sit down and listen. This stupid cow, I want to say so many negative words about her. She's a cunt. Fuck that cunt. She came out this past week or a week and a half ago, whatever it's been, and said that black people in America are more oppressed than people in Iran. Yes, folks, this fucking genius. Look, she was really good in the movie Ghost. Okay, and Sister Act, sure, that was a funny movie. I didn't see the others, but okay, stick to acting, you fucking clown. She's on The View, in case you didn't know, that whole group of pecking fucking hens yammering, but she actually had the balls to say that. Really, Whoopi? Well, I went to Grok AI, and I did a search. All I did, I didn't even look up men. I just searched, what can women not do? Like, what are the restrictions of women, just women, in Iran? Now, Whoopi, you have the First Amendment right to sound like a moron, just like I do, and to spew whatever you want, just like I do and the rest of us. However, get educated before you run your mouth, okay? A simple search. This came up in like 6 seconds, okay? So, oh, yes. Oh, look, it has the information I didn't have earlier. The 1979 Islamic Revolution. So, in 1979, Iran turned into a shithole. So, I did a search, like I said, regarding women in Iran. So, Whoopi Goldberg, if you were to reside in Iran, this is how you would be oppressed. First of all, you would have no First Amendment right. Oh, and you're a woman? Yeah, don't speak. Nobody wants to hear you. Your opinion doesn't fucking matter. I'm not saying that as an American because, like I said, you have the right to say whatever you want, no matter how ridiculous and stupid it is. But not in Iran. Okay, so the first thing that comes up, freedom of dress. Women must adhere to strict compulsory hijab laws requiring them to cover their face and body in public. So no T-shirts, Whoopi. No skirts, no T-shirts. No halter tops, no looking cute, no LBDs. Yes, ladies, I know what an LBD is. So no, it will be black, but it's not a cute little dress with a nice pair of pumps. Nope. No. Non-compliance can lead to fines up to 20 months average salary, imprisonment of up to 15 years for repeat offenders, flogging, or restrictions on access to government services like passports or driver's licenses. The hijab and chastity law, approved in September 2024, escalates penalties, including potential death sentences for activism against these laws when deemed corruption on earth. That's right, Whoopi. You are so oppressed as a black woman, as a black person in America. Black people, I am speaking to you. I know Whoopi does not speak for all of you, but if you hold her in high regard, you might want to check yourself on that. Because, yeah. Moving on. Freedom of movement. Hey, Whoopi Goldberg, do you like to get up in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to go to Starbucks for a soy, chai, whatever the fuck, burnt garbage? Well, no. No, you can't do that. Freedom of movement. Women need their husband's permission to travel abroad or obtain a passport. They also face restrictions on choosing their place of residence, as husbands can dictate this. That's right, Whoopi. Do you like where you live? I'm assuming you have one home. Maybe you have more. I don't know. But no, you would not be allowed to live where you want. Your husband will tell you where you live. Employment restrictions. Whoopi, do you enjoy acting? Do you enjoy being on The View? Well, husbands can legally prevent wives from working in jobs deemed incompatible with family interests or the dignity of the family, with no clear legal recourse for women to contest this. That's right. You do it. You can't say no. Women are barred from certain roles, such as becoming judges or holding positions like Supreme Leader or members of the Assembly of Experts, whatever the fuck that is. Only 14% of women participate in the labor force, compared to over 67% of men. And there are no laws ensuring equal pay or protecting against gender-based discrimination in hiring. You are so oppressed, Whoopi. You are so oppressed. Oh, but wait. There's more. Public activities. Women are prohibited from dancing or singing solo in public. That's right. No dancing in the rain. No skipping and la la la. Nope, you're not allowed to, as these are seen as violations of Islamic codes. They are also banned from attending men's sporting events, such as volleyball matches in stadiums. Riding bicycles is restricted, further limiting public mobility. That's right, Whoopi, you are so oppressed. Marriage and divorce. The legal marriage age for girls is 13. That's right, 13. Often done by force. As low as 9 years of age with judicial approval, which of course you know will be approved because they're a bunch of fucking pedophiles. Compared to the age of 15 for boys. Women require a male guardian's permission to marry, and husbands have it's incontestable right to divorce, while women must prove extreme circumstances, example, abuse or imprisonment, to obtain a divorce. Polygamy and temporary marriages are permitted for men without restriction. Oh, poor oppressed Whoopi. Oh, wait, there's more. Child custody and inheritance. After divorce, mothers lose custody of children after the age of 7. The fathers retain legal guardianship. Inheritance, women receive half the share of men, and their testimony in court is valued at half that of a man. Legal protections. There are no laws criminalizing marital rape or domestic violence. And rape is not distinctly classified as a crime. That's right, Whoopi. If your husband's feeling frisky and you say no, he can punch you in the face and fuck you anyway. And what are you going to do about it? Nothing. Because nobody cares. You have no rights as a woman in Iran. Okay, Whoopi? You're so fucking oppressed. Get out of here, you stupid bitch. Women face harsher penalties for certain crimes. For example, girls as young as 9 can be held criminally responsible for serious offenses, unlike boys, which is age of 15. Political participation. Women are underrepresented. Yeah, you think? With only 14 women in the 290-seat parliament, and the Guardian Council has never approved a woman to run for president. Reproductive rights. Oh, we love talking about that here in America. My body, my choice. No. Access to contraception and abortion is heavily restricted, with policies promoting early marriage. Yeah, you think? 13? 9? Yeah, no. And larger families. Sterilization and free contraceptives have been banned in the public healthcare system since 2021. Public expression and activism. Oh, this is a good one. Women face severe repercussions for protesting or defying these restrictions, including arbitrary detention, torture, and even death sentences. That's right, Whoopie. You couldn't go to a No Kings rally. Well, they wouldn't be allowed to happen anyway, but you certainly would not be allowed to attend. The 2022 death of I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher her name. Sorry, I'm so sorry ahead of time. Masa Jina Amini, I believe is her name, in 2022 died in custody for violating hijab laws, sparking the Woman Life Freedom protests, met with violent crackdowns, including over 500 deaths. People think the protests and the riots in America are bad. They are. I agree. I spoke on it. But there were over 500 deaths and thousands of arrests. Activists like Narges Mohammadi face imprisonment for advocating for women's rights. That just scratches the surface, folks. So people that think that Whoopi Goldberg is the bastion of genius, you're not. No. Get educated. That was probably the case back in the early 70s before the bullshit in 1979. But, yeah, if you think you live in America and if you live in America and you think you are oppressed, no, you are not. Move to Iran. Go for it. I implore you. Go. You'll love it there. It's a little warm in the summer, but yeah, no. I feel for all the women over there, and I would love to see a regime change in Iran, but no, I don't want our government doing it. I don't want the CIA doing it. No. I would love to see the people rise up and push against it. But we know what that will result in. That will result in a lot of people dying and bloodlines dying because they will, I'm sure, hunt down your family and kill them too because you cannot speak out against the government in Iran. But yes, Whoopi, you are so oppressed. Get fucked. All right, I think I wrap that up right there. So yes, in conclusion, I have mixed feelings regarding our military going and doing strikes on Iran, but I also don't want Iran to have nuclear weapons. So yeah, it's one of those things. It's an icky situation. But at the end of the day, fuck Iran. Like I said, not the vast majority of the people. I'm sure the vast majority of Iranians don't like the regime. They don't like it, and if they could leave, they would, I am sure. Or they would love to push back, but they know they would die. But, yeah. All right, another big topic on the news this past week that I've heard was regarding Carmelo Anthony, him murdering Austin Metcalf. I know he's not convicted, but we know he is a murderer. So I went on Grok, the AI from X, if you have not heard me talk about that before. And if this is your first time listening, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I hope you like the episode so far. And if not, well, it is what it is. And if you do, please, give it a like, follow me on the socials and all that shit. Tell your friends. All right, so I used the Grok AI on, like I said, on X, and I just typed up a thing to give me a synopsis. So I'm going to read this real quick. Carmelo Anthony, an 18-year-old from Frisco, Texas, was indicted for first-degree murder in the fatal stabbing of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf during a high school track meet on April 2nd, 2025. Now, if memory serves me right, he wasn't supposed to be there. Carmelo was not supposed to be there. But, okay. Continuing on, the incident reportedly stemmed from a dispute over a seat. Yes, nothing says I should kill somebody like a chair. Fighting over a chair. Where Metcalf asked Anthony to move from the restricted area, leading to an altercation. So, he was already in an area he wasn't supposed to be. I'm sure colorful words were exchanged. I am sure. But I continue on, where witnesses claim Metcalf pushed Anthony. Oh, no. That's when Anthony pulled a knife from his backpack and stabbed Metcalf once in the chest. Sometimes that's all it takes. Anthony remained on the scene, admitted to the act, and claimed self-defense, stating Metcalf had put hands on him after being asked not to. I'm sorry. I don't know the laws in Texas, even the ones pertaining to firearms. I know there's not many, but I don't know if they have, stand your ground laws and all that shit. I don't know. However, okay, if Austin pushed him, okay. All right, I can't sit here and say, hey, dude, you should have or could have. I'm not saying that. But if someone pushed you, Mr. Anthony, and you had the ability to retreat away from your aggressor, that's usually what you should do. Not go into your backpack and pull out a weapon and then go on the offensive. No. So, yeah. So you can claim self-defense, but I ain't fucking buying it. However, surveillance footage reportedly shows no physical confrontation before the stabbing, contradicting Anthony's self-defense claims. Interesting. Now, I know after this news broke, the story broke, months ago. Not the current court stuff. I saw the internet, social media explode regarding right down racial lines. Of course. Because here in the United States, when I grew up, I was always told not to see color. Yes, obviously, when you look at somebody, you can see that person has darker skin than me, or that person has lighter skin than me, and they have red hair or blue hair or whatever. But to not judge somebody based upon their exterior looks. But in recent years, that seems to have just gone right into the river. Everything is all about skin color now. It's all about race. All about race. You're oppressing me. Okay, move to Iran. Fuck off. But of course, black kid stabs white kid. Everything has to be about race. Even if it was white kid stabs black kid, it would have to be about race. Why? It can't be just person A does something negative to person B. Can we look at the facts? Can we get the details, please? Can we not make a knee-jerk reaction? Nope. It all has to be about race. Well, then let me go out on a limb here. Then Carmelo Anthony lived up to a negative stereotype of black people. That's what he did. If we all want to talk about race, what's one of the negative stereotypes regarding black people? That they're all violent. They're all violent, right? Now, obviously, that's a stereotype. It's not true. Are there black people that are violent? Yes. And aggressive? Yes. Are there white people that are aggressive and violent? Yes. Yes, there is. Asians, right? Assholes come in all shapes, sizes, colors, and religions, folks. And all different nationalities, right? There's assholes everywhere. I know. It's shocking. But Mr. Anthony lived up to a stereotype. And also, after that story broke, I happened to see an interview with a young woman that goes to that school, or one of the schools. I don't know if it's two schools or what. I don't remember. But she knew of Carmelo Anthony, and she knew that, yes, he has a history of being violent and fighting. Now, yes, fighting in schools, that's nothing new, especially between boys, right? Boys will be boys, as the old saying goes. I'm not saying fighting is right. Obviously, it's not. Somebody can get hurt. Hell, somebody could die if they fall and hit their head, right? It happens all the time. It's tragic shit. But fighting happens. But this girl said that, yes, she is familiar with him because she's heard about his violent outbursts and him getting into fights and shit. So, obviously, I was not there that day. I did not attend this school. I don't know anybody involved personally. But from what I have gathered, it reminds me of some people that myself, and I'm sure all of you, have experienced when you grew up in schools. There was always that one arrogant fucking douchebag asshole that just thinks their shit doesn't stink. They're fucking great. They'll come into a classroom after the teacher has already started their lecture. They enter the classroom late, and they're just loud. They're like, "Sorry, teach. I'm late. Sorry." And then they sit down, and they high-five their friends, and they sit down. "All right, you can keep teaching now. Thanks." We all have experienced those types of assholes, right? I know I have. There's always at least one in every grade. Usually, unfortunately, nowadays, there's quite a few because there's no discipline anymore. But there's always that one dildo that just thinks they're fucking great and wonderful. So I can envision, again, I was not there, I'm simply speculating and talking out my booty hole, that this asshole, this murderer, went to an area he knew he wasn't supposed to be, but didn't give a fuck because he doesn't think rules apply to him. I can do whatever I want. Don't you know who the fuck I am? Kind of attitude. And when people were probably saying, "Dude, why the fuck are you here? Get out. You're not supposed to be here. You're not part of this team. You're not part of... Get out. What the fuck?" And he just was probably smiling like, fuck you. What are you going to do?" Kind of attitude. I am sure that's the vibe I get. I'm sure he had that attitude of, fuck you, you can't do anything to me. What are you going to do? Looking for a fight. And he claims someone put hands on him. Okay, so someone pushed you, supposedly, allegedly. Okay, and? So what? Then you grab a weapon? Were they jumping on top of you? Were they dogpiling you? Was there 7 people around you looking to curb stomp you? No? Okay, then no. I have a feeling, like I said, this piece of shit went looking for trouble. He wanted to stir shit up because he's just an asshole. He's just one of those fucking douchebags. Just a piece of shit. Just a miserable fucking human being. An arrogant fuck. That's the vibe I get. And he chose violence that day, and he murdered someone. A young man lost their life over a chair. Over a fucking chair. Seriously. Send this motherfucker to prison forever. Put him under the prison. I don't really care. I don't care. Carmelo Anthony is a piece of shit. He deserves prison for life. I feel so bad for the Austin Metcalf family. It's a shame that had to happen to him on that day, and of course, his friends. It's fucking bullshit. This shit is insane. People are going straight to weapons over something so fucking trivial and so stupid. Oh, well, Carmelo Anthony is a murderer. I hope he goes to jail. I hope he's found guilty across the board. Bye, motherfucker, bye. And that's pretty much all I have to say regarding that topic. What else was there that happened in the last week and a half? Let me think. Yes. There was a primary vote. I believe it was a primary in New York City. New York City. What a shithole. What a shithole. And of course, here in Connecticut, we had commie lovers cheering and congratulating this commie fuck from New York in his win over Cuomo. Who, fuck Cuomo, he's a piece of shit anyway. But you gotta be a pretty big piece of shit to lose to a commie. Commies aren't people, folks. Commies aren't people. Kind of like pedophiles. They're not people. They're monsters. Communism isn't for the communist. It's for the people. Why do you think in commie-ran countries, those in power have everything, and everybody else has so very little? Or at least live under the watchful eye and restrictions of their overlords, such as in China. But yes, we had people like Chris Murphy congratulating him. Of course, Chris Murphy would. He loves communism. Dick Blumenthal, another card-carrying commie. And, of course, you got Bernie Sanders, another fucking card-carrying commie. It's one thing I will give Bernie Sanders. I hate him. I hate him. I hate his policies. I hate his ideas. He's fucking insane. But I will give him credit. He has been a commie for a long time, and he has not wavered. So I guess that's something? I guess. He wasn't flip-flopping on it. But, yeah, commies aren't people. But, yes, his name, I'm probably going to butcher it, and I don't care because I don't have any respect for a commie. Zoran Mamdani. Damn it, I think I said it right. Fuck that guy. Yes, he is the Democrat nominee for New York City mayor in 2025. He identifies as a democratic socialist. Yes, socialist. Openly socialist. Why? What? No, that's insanity, New York. If you are a New Yorker, what the fuck is wrong with you? So let's look at some of the wonderful ideas this piece of shit is putting forth. And again, Chris Murphy, Dick Blumenthal, and others in Connecticut in office, you cheered for this guy. You congratulated this guy in his win in New York over Cuomo. You cheered for this guy. Let that be a lesson to you, people of Connecticut. The people that we have elected, not me. I didn't vote for these fucking morons. But some of you may have. These people cheered for this piece of shit. And hold him in high esteem and high regard. Some of the things that he is pushing for, let me list off. Rent freeze for rent-stabilized apartments. He aims to freeze rents for the nearly 1 million New Yorkers living in rent-stabilized apartments to address the housing crisis and prevent tenants from being priced out. Now that sounds wonderful, doesn't it? It does? Oh, your rent shouldn't be allowed to go up? No, not at all. But do you know what really happens, folks? Now, I understand, like I said, it sounds good. If you're scraping by week to week and you find out that your landlord is going to increase your rent, and I've heard even friends of mine that think very much like myself, crying and screaming about pieces of shit landlords raising their costs on their tenants. Fuck you, sit down, let me educate you. Because why do landlords increase rent? Are there some out there that are money-hungry, slumlord pieces of garbage? Yes. Yes, there are. Absolutely. However, in reality, I am sure it's not most of them, but the cost of things go up. taxes on the building. Let's say if you owned a building that had 10 apartments, your taxes go up on that building. Well, guess what? You're going to make the sting of that increase of tax, you're going to put that onto your tenants. Even if you just broke it even, you didn't make any more money on top of what you're already taking in, you're going to go, oh, wow, the taxes went up $2,000 a month. Okay, well, I have 10 apartments. Let's do some math. I can't do it in my head. But you do the division, and that's how much your rent's going to go up. And the landlord isn't making any more money. He's just breaking fucking even on what he was breaking even on the last month. But you are now going to have to pay more because his taxes went up. How about the cost of plumbers? Plumbers and electricians. How about plow truck drivers? You know, it does snow in New York City. You want to be able to get out of the parking lot and go to work, right? Well, you probably cry and complain if the plow truck isn't there clearing the snow out of the parking lot, so that costs money. Your landlord pays for that. The price of fuel goes up, so guess what? The guy that drives the truck, he wants a raise this year. Well, that means his owner has to increase rates to cover the wage increase, the increase in his taxes, the increase in health insurance, the increase in workman's compensation. It all goes up, and then that charge gets filtered down to the landlord, which then filters it onto the tenant. Do you see where I'm going here, folks? It snowballs that way. And so this piece of shit wants to know, freeze your rent. So then what happens? The landlord or the building owner or what have you now has to pay more out of pocket. And I know some of you may be going, well, boo-hoo. Well, he can't take a hit in his wallet. Okay, fair enough. Okay, fair enough. But for how long? What, 6 months? A year? 2 years? Before now the landlord goes, I can't afford to upkeep. The roof has a leak. Many of my tenants are complaining there's water getting inside and destroying their electronics and their clothing. They can't afford to fix the roof because they're not allowed to increase the rent, which would bring in the money that they could use to fix the fucking building. That's just one of his policies, people. Free public bus service. Free. Nothing is free. Somebody is going to have to pay for it. He proposed eliminating fares for New York City buses to make public transport more accessible, building on the previous pilot program he championed as a state assemblyman. Okay, then where's the money going to come from when, the bus needs maintenance or fuel or an oil change or new tires, signal lights burn out? Maybe the driver wants a raise. Oh, wait, they're on union contracts. Well, yeah. Who's going to pay for all that? Because it's free now. No, it's not. Universal child care. Oh, he plans to provide free child care for all New Yorkers with children aged between, 6 weeks to 5 years, including baby baskets with essentials like diapers and books to support new parents. Again, that sounds great. It sounds wonderful. If you are a young woman expecting a child or you just recently gave birth, that sounds great because child care is expensive. Now, I've never had one, but I am quite aware that children at young ages have very often doctor appointments. Not to mention they get sick and run fevers and the parents freak out and run to the ER or they run to the doctor's office simply because the child has a fever. Because I know that it is dangerous. I get it. But children are expensive in general. And yes, when they are young, they often go to the doctors. And it gets expensive. It adds up. But it's free. He wants it to make it free. Somebody has to pay for it, folks. Who is paying for it? All of you. Your taxes are going to go up. They have to. There is no way to avoid it. How expensive are the taxes in New York City? I can only assume they're pretty fucking high. Well, they're not high enough. Because if you are going to have to pay for universal child care, your taxes will go up. There is no choice because diapers aren't cheap and they aren't free. Doctors don't do shit out of the kindness of their heart. Yes, some do. Some do. But come on. City-owned grocery stores because, yes, nothing says it's being ran efficiently like something ran by the government. Tell me something that has been more efficient now that the government took it over. Nothing. City-owned grocery stores. He advocates for establishing city-run grocery stores to offer affordable food options, addressing food insecurity in underserved communities. What? Affordable food. Like government cheese. Now, look, I understand there's people out there that are, hell, they're worse off than living paycheck to paycheck. I get it. I feel for those people. I do. I genuinely do. I live paycheck to paycheck, too. You know, there's times where I'm like, I would really like to make myself a coffee at home this week, but I can't afford the coffee, so guess what? Guess I'm not having coffee this week. But I know there are people out there that are far worse off than myself. But city-owned grocery stores, right. And who is paying for it? If it's city-owned, that means it's paid for by the city. And how does the city make money? Oh, tax dollars. That's right. Your taxes will be going up again until the grocery store runs out of food. Publicly subsidized housing. Yes, his housing plan includes building 200,000 units of permanently affordable union-built, so it's not affordable, rent-stabilized, we already talked about that, homes for the next decade. With the city taking a lead role in funding rather than relying on private developers. Where is that money coming from? Hello? Taxes. Yes, your taxes. Your taxes. Yes, and we all know what affordable housing means. Higher crime. That's true, isn't it? Anytime I have been in an area where affordable housing has been constructed, crime goes up. Yes. Oh, New York City, you are so fucked. Increasing the minimum wage. Yes, because that always helps. He proposes a plan to raising New York City's minimum wage to $30 an hour. Yes, folks, $30 an hour. How much is a McDonald's meal in New York City? Now, here in Connecticut, I have gone to certain McDonald's, and I remember way back in the day, I could go to McDonald's and I could buy, let's say, the double quarter pounder meal, large, with a Coke. And it would be like, I don't know, $4.99. So it was like, $5.50. Now it's like $13. And the minimum wage in Connecticut is what, like 18? Something like that? 17? I don't know. I don't know. But it's not 30. Guess what happens, New York City? Guess what happens when the minimum wage goes up to $30 an hour? Two things are going to happen in fast food chains and the like. It will, A, be fully or almost fully automated, or B, your double quarter pounder meal will now be $27.50. Good luck bringing your kids out for a Happy Meal, because that will be about $15 for a Happy Meal. Well, that's just because McDonald's Corporation is full of greed, and they're greedy, and they want money. Shut the fuck up, you commie cocksucking clowns. A minimum wage hike of $30 an hour is retarded, beyond retarded. Years ago, I believe it was in Washington State, they pushed, like, around the country, we'll say the minimum wage was like, we'll say $10, something like that. All right, I'm pulling numbers out my ass. But they went for a $20 minimum wage. And then people were freaking out when all of the elderly people, the teenagers, and those who tripped up on the path of life and were trying to get their life back together, they were all let go. Or the vast majority of them were let go from their fast food jobs because everything went to automation. You go into a McDonald's. You didn't go up to the counter and say, yeah, hi, Billy. Can I have a Happy Meal and 2 cheeseburgers? No. You went to a kiosk and you typed it in. And that means there's nobody taking your order. There was like 2 people in back working, making the sandwiches and the fries and such, getting you your drink. Oh, they wouldn't even get you your drink. They would just give you the cup. You get your own fucking drink because that's time taken away from making fries and burgers. People lost their jobs because the minimum wage went up to $20. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. So, yeah, New York City, $30 an hour minimum wage. Yeah, good luck with that. Tax increases on wealthy and corporations. Oh, see, haven't I mentioned that? Yeah. To fund his initiatives, he plans to raise taxes on households earning over $1 million annually and increase the corporate tax rate. He also suggests hiring more tax auditors, which is paid by tax money, and collecting fines from landlords to generate additional revenue. Do you know what will happen then? People will be fleeing New York City in droves. New York City lost a huge percentage of their population just because of their draconian bullshit over the pandemic with COVID. People moved to Texas and Florida because people were free. Hell, even that AOC cunt went on vacation to Florida. She was up in New York City. Get your jab, wear your mask, make sure you're always masking up. And then she went on holiday to Florida and wasn't wearing a mask. Yes, because they're all commie cunts. AOC is a commie, just like this piece of shit. It's, these rules for you, but not for them. So yes, these companies and the wealthy people will be leaving New York City. This happened years ago in New Jersey. I remember I was listening to a guy, Andrew Wilkow. Don't quote me on the year, but I guess New Jersey, we'll say 10 years ago. I'm, again, pulling a number out of my butt. Put in some kind of new tax code of how they're going to increase taxes on, whatever. And then this, billionaire went, well, fuck this shit. I'm out. They packed up their things and they moved out of New Jersey. And then, because that person left, they were not going to be able to make their budget because that person's money wasn't there to steal. They left. They took their toys and went home somewhere else. So New Jersey fucked themselves. This is exactly what's going to happen in New York City. Yes, I know there are companies and corporations out there that are greedy. I am not ignoring that. I am fully aware of that. And I hear people screaming, they should pay their fair share. Okay. Wouldn't you want to be a millionaire? Wouldn't you? I know I'd love to be a millionaire. And I know I wouldn't be moving to fucking New York City. Hell, I wouldn't even be in Connecticut anymore. If I became a millionaire, there would be signs, like the for sale one outside my home. Because I wouldn't be here anymore. Because fuck this state and their taxes and their commie way of going. But that's what's going to happen in New York City. The millionaires and corporations are going to leave. And they may even bring New Yorkers with them. Some companies in the past in other states have done that. Where the tax burden got too much, they said to their employees, we are leaving. We're moving to Tennessee. You are welcome to come with us. And we can even assist you in moving and paying for the moving trucks and such because they wanted to keep their employees. That is loyalty, folks. That is loyalty. But it's also not cheap. But some of these companies and corporations have the money. They have the deep pockets. They can afford to do that because it's actually cheaper in the long run. If they say, well, if we spend X, help move all these people, buying a new facility, revamping it, making it literally a carbon copy of what we have here. It's going to cost X. But then in 3 years, we will recoup that money. Because if we stay here, in 3 years, we will be paying Y, which is X amount of percentage over X. It's just business. It's numbers. It's money. That's what it comes down to. Commies run on feel-good policies that are unsustainable because eventually you run out of everybody else's money. That's right. That's what happens. Green school initiatives. He wants green schools for a healthier New York City. How about you get rid of all the brake dust in New York City? Start there. Really big vacuums. I'm joking, obviously, but brake dust is a problem. Okay, plans. His plan aims to address the climate crisis. Oh, there it is. Climate crisis. By improving public schooling infrastructure, enhancing quality of life for working class families. Okay, so how is improving public school infrastructure helping climate change? Are you talking about installing air conditioners? Okay, whatever, dude. He's a commie, folks. A communist is running for mayor of New York City. And I'm not saying the bitch that's in there now is good. No, she sucks. Is it? I think it's a she, right? I don't even remember, right? Fuck it. I don't even know because I hate fucking New York. I don't hate New Yorkers. I mean, some, of course, because I don't like everybody. Hell, I don't like people. But I know not every New Yorker is a card-carrying commie. They're not every New Yorker is a piece of shit. And I feel bad for most of the New Yorkers, or just New York staters, the ones that are farmers living in small rural towns in mid-state and upstate New York. They're ruled by the fuckbags in the cities, which is unfortunate everywhere in the country, of course. California, Connecticut, Massachusetts. Exactly. But this communist wants to he will destroy New York City. He wants to defund the police. That's right. He wants to defund the police. That has happened already around the country in other locales, and then guess what happens in a very short time? They increase the funding for the police because crime gets out of fucking control. But no, this cunt thinks it's a good idea. He wants to implement having counselors to come to the scene to, get stabbed or something. I don't know. But yeah, he wants to defund the police. He also is against ICE operations because he loves illegal dick, apparently. He apparently loves sucking illegal cock. I can only guess that. But yes, he is a communist. He is also anti-Semitic. People have been arguing. I heard some douchebag on the radio today trying to discern the definition of anti-Semitic and trying to split hairs, like really split hairs. Now, look, I don't care if this guy or anybody out there questions Israel and their government. Look, I'm not going down that path. And as I've said in the past, I don't care if somebody out there hates somebody. I don't care who you hate. But it's what do you do with it? This person, Mamdani or whatever his last name is, I don't care, don't respect him enough to learn it. He sides with Hamas. He sides with the Palestinians. He chants from river to the sea. And he wants and has quoted, that's right, quoted saying he is in favor. Oh, no, wait. I lie. I take that back. He did not speak out against a global intifada. He was asked the question, I believe, about whether he would speak out against that or something, and then just didn't answer it. That's right. And also with Sharia law. He was asked about Sharia law, if he would, is against it. And he didn't answer that. He didn't answer that. Okay, so sorry, I just did a quick pause there because I wanted to look something up regarding the Intifada. So I found this again. He has faced significant controversy over his stance on the phrase "globalize the Intifada." Now, if you don't know what that means, it means eradicate the Jews in New York City. I thought New York City had a quite large Jewish population. Yes, yes. He has not explicitly called for or endorsed an intifada, but he has defended the phrase as an expression of a desperate desire for equality and equal rights in standing up for Palestinian human rights. Bullshit. If you are Jewish and you support this guy, you would vote for Hitler, wouldn't you? You would, wouldn't you? If you are Jewish and live in New York City, start packing your shit now. Start packing. Start looking for real estate outside of state. I'm not joking. If I had Jewish friends living in New York City, thankfully I don't, but if I did, that's what I'd be telling them. And I know they would be all telling me, you're crazy. You're just a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, people said that back in 1939 and 41. Yeah. So if you are Jewish living in New York City, you should bind together and rail against this motherfucker hard and get a real estate agent. Get the fuck out. You should be getting out of the cities anyway because the cities are abhorrent. New York City's a toilet. Flush that fucking thing into the Hudson. It's garbage. I hate New York City. But yeah, so that's what's been happening. And again, folks, the things I just rattled off, people, our politicians in Connecticut, Governor Lamont, that cocksucker, also is like, yay for Mamdani, yay. Why? Because they want that same shit here in Connecticut. They love that stuff. They love communism. They love it. Because it's more money for them, more power for them, and less power for you. That's right. That's what commies do. Socialist, whether it's a communist, socialist, or Marxist, they're all three sides of the same cult of death. Because that's all communism, Marxism, and socialism does. It promises beauty, and it does nothing but cause death and destruction. Hard times. Hard fucking times. Go talk to people that have lived under communism. Talk to Cubans, Romanians, North Koreans. Talk to them about what they were promised and then what happened in reality. Talk to them. Ask them. Because you don't want that shit in America. In New York City, like I said, the city right now is a shithole. It used to be pretty good back when, who was in charge? That Republican guy. The short guy that looked like a rat. I can't remember his name. Giuliani. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. Yes, Giuliani. Things were getting pretty good. Things were pretty good there. It's gotten a whole lot worse over the last 4 years, right? Well, you elect this guy. Yeah, today is a good day in New York compared to what's going to happen. But what do I know? I'm just a conspiracy theorist. I'm just a crazy kook with a microphone. That's right. All right, I think I'll wrap it up there. Oh, wow, holy shit, over an hour? Look at that. I should probably go get another cup of coffee because my medication's wearing off. So hopefully you liked this, the way I've structured this episode. I'm hoping to obviously gather up more information over the next week. Honestly, between my new job and coming home and doing the adulting and stuff, I really don't have a whole lot of time to scour social media. Hell, I love listening to Reese on the radio, and I get to listen to like 45 minutes of it every day on my way home. I used to listen to the whole thing, and now I can't because, I got shit to do, bro. Got shit to do. So hopefully you liked the way I structured this episode, and if you did, give me a thumbs up or message me or what have you. So if you like the episode, cool, give it a like, follow, and share, and follow me on social medias and all that good stuff. Tell your friends, don't keep me your dirty little secret kind of stuff. And until next time, keep being you, unless you're a commie.